You're watching World Sport HD, a VOOM HD network.
Welcome back to the Rio Olympic Arena for the World Sport HD's exclusive high-definition coverage of the 2007 Pan American Games. We're here watching the men's individual all-around finals. I'm John McCready. Alongside of me, Olympic bronze medalist Peter Corman. It's so far been a very exciting competition, Peter.
Yeah, it's great. It's very close. A lot of things can happen. We're right about the halfway point. So gymnasts look at this now and they say, okay, I am where I am. I've got to either move up or kind of fight for my turf and stay where I am. But it's very close right now. So this promises to be an extremely exciting second half.
You kind of go into this competition and you're saying to yourself, I have a chance. And if you're up there on the scoreboard, rotation 3, you're kind of saying to yourself, I'm right. I do have a chance. I can do this.
Yeah, this is the rotation is referred to as the holy cow rotation. You look up at the leaderboard and you see your name up at the top and you go, holy cow. So that makes some guys do better and it makes other guys have a bad experience. So we may be about to find out some of that right now.
Starting off on the floor exercise is Cuba's Gerardo Medina. This guy so far, he's shown how powerful he is. I'm sure we're going to see a very powerful routine on floor exercise here.
Yeah, and he's having a great meet. We've seen him a few times.
Wow.
Really nice, yeah. 1.5 twist punch double front. Very unusual, extremely risky to do, and good high difficulty. This is our first look at floor exercise, wow. And boy, this is a great routine so far. Nice 2.5 twist.
So far, pretty consistent as he has been the whole competition.
Yeah, he's doing really good. And like we've talked about, that's kind of the key, is to just get through every event.
Without something like that.
Yeah, just as I said
yeah.
It. Man, did I jinx that guy or what?
I don't know. I'm not blaming you, Pete. Oh, that's too bad. What a great floor routine.
Yeah,
he
you're not
stuck
kidding.
the dismount.
That routine is really hard. There's a lot of things in that routine that could be missed. And actually, the thing he did miss might have been one of the easier passes, and he made that mistake. So, too bad. And you can see, you know, like we talked about, those tenths of a point add up. And when you have a major break like that, that can move, you know, 3 or 4 guys past you at least.
He had 2 very hard moves before that, or one after it also, with forward landings, and he stuck both of them.
I know. He actually missed the easy. One could argue he missed the easiest pass in that routine.
Yeah. Even
though what he did miss wasn't super easy, but compared to the other passes in the routine, that one may have been the simplest.
Look back here. This is his second pass, which again another front landing.
Really difficult to do. 1.5 twist and a punch double front. One of the only gymnasts in the world that does that, and
problem
is a front full through a front 1.5 or a full. He kind of bailed out of it.
Yeah,
that's major break. And look at his face.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you're going for a skill like that, you got to go for it. It looks like he maybe just said, he got lost a little bit and said, failing.
Yeah, I think he hit his center of gravity was way behind his base of support, his feet, and in the air he just bailed out. He just said, "I'm not going to make it," and it looked like he gave up. I don't think that was the case. He just sensed that he wasn't going to make the skill, and he went to Plan B, which is put your hands down and be safe.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when you're doing gymnastics, all that you just talked about went on in his head in about a half of a second. So you got to make that decision really quick.
Yeah, that was, he actually, I think, and I think you probably agree, John, watching it, he could have made that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Kind of bailed out of it.
Yeah, and he'll probably be thinking about that tonight.
A lot of excitement in this arena right now. There's things going on in every event. And as we scan the arena, now we're on a high bar.
Yep. This is Jorge Geraldo from Colombia, right into his high bar routine. Again, another exciting event. Wow.
Gaylord too, really nice. Wow, that was a tough trick. In a heated competition like that, that's a risky skill to do, but he did it very well.
Don't see a lot of those anymore, huh, Pete?
Yeah, they're hard to catch. It's a high-risk skill. You never really saw a lot of them, John. There's very few guys that actually did that skill. Named after the great Mitch Gaylord from the United States. Wow.
He's happy. It's a nice set.
Yeah, that was great. We saw the second half of that routine, a lot of difficulty. And of all the high bar routines we've watched in this competition, that one had the highest difficulty by far.
Yeah, we saw a good dismount. We got big releases, some good hand changes.
Yeah, everything he's doing well.
And it was done with good form too. A lot of times you don't see that. You know, you have one or the other, big skills, maybe not great form, but it kind of had the whole package there.
Yeah, that was a world-class routine. There's no doubt about it. And there's the skill we were talking about, the Gaylord 2. Difficult because he flies over the bar, does a flip, and then catches in a different grip, which if you're a little bit off, it's hard to hold on. Beautiful full twisting double layout, and look.
He knows it.
Yeah, he does know it. He's like on a roll.
I'm here to play. Knock that one up. Coach is trying to hydrate him here, saying, come on, buddy, drink it up, man. You got to stay with this. You're doing so well. He says, I don't need it. I don't need it, man, after a routine like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of adrenaline running right now in this arena. You can feel it. You can see all these guys. They're having good meets. There haven't been a lot of breaks. And, you know, that's kind of what you hope for, John. You hope everyone goes out and does their job and you see who's the best. But the reality of it is there's usually more breaks than this. So as the pressure gets greater towards the end, it'll be a challenge to see which of these athletes can hang in there and get the job done.
There's Jorge's score, 14.75.
Yeah, highest high bar score we've seen, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, judging might be a little bit tough.
Tough. Here we go back to the floor exercise. This guy has had a solid competition. Jose Luis Fuentes of Venezuela, so far just rocking. In the zone you talked about before, Peter.
Yeah, he's in the zone for sure. And he, not only that, he is a quality gymnast. You look at the things that make a gymnast good. You need to be strong. He's got it. You need to be flexible. He's got it. You need to have good body lines. He's got it. You need to have courageous performance. He's got it. And you need to be a fierce competitor. He's got that too. So you add it all up, I mean, he is the total package. So I'm really enjoying watching him right now. He was great on parallel bars and high bar. Did that good vault we saw. And, you know, he looks like the real deal to me. Hiked Arabian double front. Little hop on the landing, but a tough way to land forward like that. You don't see the ground.
Got a little mistake there, Peter?
Yeah, that was probably a missed pass. I think he probably meant to do another twist on that, but he opted not to because he was a little off balance. So that's another thing, John, that, as you know, you go through a competition like this, you got to think on your feet. You mentioned the split-second decisions. I think he made one there, and he covered it up pretty good.
So far, he's recovered from that. He's continuing with a consistent routine, just like his competition has been. The big decision is going to be down here at the dismount. You want to hang in it like you talked about before, Peter. He's going to have to hit this dismount.
Okay, not bad. Not a great routine in terms of difficulty, and then he did have that missed element in the second pass that you pointed out, but you know, he's one more event in the bank.
Yeah.
And that's important at this point.
Well, I'm guessing too, Peter, we talked about every gymnast kind of has a weaker event, and you got to just get through it and do your best. And we haven't seen all his events yet, but compared to his other events, his floor wasn't up to par. So maybe that's just his one.
Yeah, I don't think he's a real leg guy. And he also has a little bit of a limp. He limped back, so, you know, could have a little bit of a minor injury there. This is a 1.5 twist to the front half, I believe he probably wanted to do a 1.5 there. This is a cool press because he does it with his hands flat, which is really hard. You've got to be very flexible to do that. Most people who do that skill do it on their fingertips, which gives them more flexibility in getting your legs through the floor. So he did that well.
Dismount.
Yeah, 1.5 twist. Kind of an odd dismount, but yeah. Unique routine. I can't say that I like the composition of it that well, but he actually performed it pretty good. I think his score, though, it certainly won't be his highest because of that missed element.
Yeah.
And also some of the technical flaws and the hops on the landings.
What are judges mainly looking for in floor exercise?
Well,
Peter?
the skill value is part of it, is what the routine starts at. The second thing is how well it's performed. What does your body look like in the air? How well do you land? How much height and execution do you have? You know, did you stick the dismount? Did you take a hop? Were your legs together? Were they apart? You add it all up, and that's what you want. In the floor exercise routine, you want to be very powerful and very dynamic. You want to go really high in the air, and you want to land perfect. Those are the things that a judge look for.
And I noticed he had a lot of front-moving passes, not too many backward-moving passes. Do you have to have both, or is there a difference between the two?
You do need to have both, but once again, it's a combination of what's going to get you your highest start score. And in his particular case, because he's not a really great, powerful tumbler, adding those front skills together gets him a higher start score. So smart design in the routine, but it's not certainly, like you said, one of his better events.
Right.
It's hard to be an all-around gymnast. Guys can swing good on certain events, and then but you've also got to have the leg stuff. You got to be good on floor and vaulting. It's like you got to have the total package of athleticism in order to be the all-around champion.
Well, judging what we've seen from Jose so far this competition, I think that floor routine, he'll get right through it and he'll jump back on because he's been consistent. We talked about having your one, and that's maybe his little weaker event. You mentioned he might be a little bit hurt. The judges are thinking about it a lot right now and trying to make sure they're putting out the right score because obviously it's an important score.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot going on now with that panel. Some of it could be discussions over the connection value of certain skills and the difficulty. And it's important to the athletes. They prepare their whole life for a moment like this. Even though it can be a little unpleasing to wait for the judges' scores, I'd rather have them take their time and get it right than just to throw a score out there and have some poor kid that's worked his whole life for that moment to have his dream shattered because the judges were in a hurry.
Jose's sitting there just saying, come on, guys. I know this feeling. Come on, guys. Treat me right.
Yeah, treat me right and let me go home.
Let me go. He's going to move on to pommel horse next, which I'm guessing from his body lines, he's a pretty good athlete on pommel horse. So,
yeah, he's doing a great job. And this is like a part of the competition you don't always see on television, where, you know, you're looking into the athlete's eyes and you can see. And there's his score, 14.55. Pretty good score, John. Yeah. He could have got hit a little harder than that.
I think they treated him pretty well, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Moving over to the floor exercise with Puerto Rico's Alexander Colon.
Wow, nice pass. Oh, another one. This is a great tumbler. Whip 2.5 twist, front with a half. Very good connection of those skills is very valuable in scoring his routine.
His structure seems good too, Peter's landings, or some of them are all roll-out landings, which are easy not to take a step on.
Yeah, he's that was a little bit off. Yeah, good save though. This is a nice routine. He's a very good tumbler. He can connect those tumbling skills together, and that raises the value of the routine, and it also makes for a very dynamic performance. So he's looking for a good landing, set this routine up. Nice. Kind of an easy dismount, but compared to the rest of the value of the routine, he got his difficulty in those first two passes.
Another easy dismount, just like we saw from Jose. It seems like they're kind of trying to either keep it a little bit easier, or they just don't don't have those dismounts yet.
Yeah, that was maybe too easy or dismount. There's not a deduction for that though, so it's just not. You know, I like to look at it from a coaching point of view and say, you know, dismount was something really exciting because it's the last thing the judges see. It's kind of like the exclamation point of the routine, and you want to do that well. Is 1.5 twist.
Here's the rollout we were talking about.
Right, in the punch 1 and 3 rollout, did that very well. Those 3 hard skills connected makes them of a higher value. There's a whip, 2.5 twist to a punch Barani, nice.
6 the dismount, clean routine. Here's his dismount, just a
double twist.
Double twist.
Yep, layout with a double twist, but he did it well.
Sometimes that's important in a competition like this. Don't try to do anything hard. Just go out there and do what you can do and land it and stick the dismount and move on.
Yeah, and he did a lot of difficulty at the beginning. So in the totality of that routine will be the difficulty will be fine. It's just the dismount was a little bit too easy for the likings of you and I, but we're not judging. And once again, there's no deduction for that, so it's not going to hurt his score.
Crowd getting back into it.
Yeah, I think people now, these guys you get, they can see the finish line. They're not there yet, but they can feel it, you know, okay, I'm getting close.
Yep. Alexander is going to be going to the pommel horse after this event, which again is probably one of the hardest events in gymnastics. So right now you got to get your score, and then you got to really, really get focused because talked about changing the outcome of an event. Pommel horse can do it.
Yeah, he's midway, but like you said, John, he has pommel horse to go, so you know he's certainly not in the relax mode.
Yeah. There's some athletes that relax on horse, but very few of them. I was not one of them. Were you, Pete?
No, I was kind of like, okay, got that. Let's move on. Give me something I can flip with.
Again, these judges are really putting a lot of they're either having some disagreements between the two of them or they're missing some things. What do you think, Pete?
Well, you know, to be honest with you, John, it
Nobody knows.
Could be a number of things. The rules are very complicated in gymnastics, and you know sometimes the judges they struggle with them too. So. But like we said before, it's important they get it right. So they need to take their time and figure it out and do the right thing. It's the athletes that have worked their whole lives for this. So, you know, I don't mind them taking their time. But it'd be nice as we get further down the road of gymnastics that they can prepare themselves as well as the gymnasts can prepare themselves.
Well, they took their time, but they seem to have done a good job for Alexander. He likes it, 15.05. That's a good score.
Good score, yeah. Highest one we've seen on floor. And in an all-around competition, that is not going to move him down in the standings. It'll at least keep him where he is and possibly move him up.
Moving over to the hometown favorite, Luis Anjos of Brazil.
We have seen him perform well today.
No.
Oh, baby. That was almost perfect, but
that's a hard one.
That's a hard one. Full twisting double layout. Laid out Arabian 1 and 3.
He's just going at it.
Yeah, he's powerful gymnast. Look at his quads. You can tell he's got some baboon in him.
But we've seen a lot of those, Peter. Is that a requirement?
It's not a requirement, but it's a.
Oh.
Whoa, that was a little.
Yeah.
That was close to being not held. That may be one of those.
I think he's making all this up right now just to get out of that.
Yeah, that was one of those. If you're the Brazilian judge, you might say, yeah, I think he held it. But if you're the Colombian judge or the American judge, you might say, you know, I'm not so sure.
Yep. Ooh. He's usually rushing himself through this a little bit, especially after that that little mess up there.
Yeah, he put his hands down on that full twisting double layout, and I think that rattled his cage a little.
Ooh.
That's something you hope doesn't happen. You know, he made the first mistake, and put his hands down, and what you wanted to do from that point on is just to not make any more errors. But, you know, he made 3 or 4, and clearly some of them looked a little bit mental errors.
Looks like Luis is going to be hurt a little bit. That really takes a toll on your ankles landing like that, doesn't it, Peter?
Yeah, that was quite a whack. That floor there has springs underneath it, so the cushion of landing is not that bad. In the old days, John, there were no springs on the floor, and those landings,
put you out.
Yeah, you often would, you know, walk off on your hands. But, you know, it could just be a stinger. And
yeah.
My guess is he just got stung, and he'll be fine. Look at the marks on his arms too from parallel bars. This is a warrior, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, men's gymnastics is really hard. You got to be really physically strong, and you've got to be courageous, and you've got to know how to deal with injuries because they happen all the time. A lot of little things and sometimes a lot of big things. So you've got to be one tough guy to handle that type of pounding on your body. And you can tell he's got bruises all over him.
He's got to decide right now what's an injury. I think he's decided it's his ankle. After 2 landings like that on the floor, that'll put you down. Had a little rough landing on there, too.
Yeah, he hit hard, for sure. You want to land on your hands and roll out nice and smooth. And as his back hit the ground, you could see his body kind of crunch. This is it. Yeah. Boy,
Still
that
has
was pommel horse and rings to go. Yeah,
pommel horse and rings.
He's got 2 more events, so...
Luckily, no landing. You know, luckily doesn't have vault left. So, you know, pommel horse, you can probably just get up there and he's going to be fine. Rings, he's got to worry about the landing, so he should be able to finish up pretty strong, wouldn't you say, Pete?
I hope. Yeah, sure. I mean, unless he's really hurt. You know, sometimes you land like that, and it can hurt more in 10 minutes than it's hurting right now. Just depends. If it's just soft tissue damage, he could be fine, but you never know. So, but you know, one thing we do know, John, this is a tough guy. You can tell from the way he is. You can look in his eye, and he's not going to give up. So I think we're going to get the best from him no matter what happens.
Well, and being in front of his hometown and having a big competition like this in your own country, no matter what you do, you're gonna show him how tough you are.
Yeah, he's prepared his whole life, and you know, slap that ice on there, and then forget about it, and get ready, and make sure you hit pommel horse because he's still in the mix too. So yeah, there's a lot on the line here.
Judge is taking quite a while on this one.
And you know, John, these guys don't do this for money. They don't make a living at it. It's just their passion, their love for the sport. But, you know, I think they take it as serious as any professional athlete in any sport. It means as much to them as if they were playing the NFL or the NBA. So, you know, mistakes like that, you got to pick up from and keep going because this guy really wants this.
This country's trying to get behind him here. I mean, treat my boy right. Judge is still talking about, sometimes the judges they can really stop the momentum of your competition with this, so you got to be really strong mentally to just sit there and handle it. Wouldn't you say, Peter?
Yeah, definitely. And there it is, 13.45. That is a killer in terms of his all-around score.
That's definitely going to be hard to climb out of. He does have 2 events to do it. Moving over to the parallel bars with USA's David Durante. This is the first time we've seen David today. It's a good, solid competitor, Peter. Yeah,
he's great. David's one of our better guys and has done a very good job for Team USA. Nice peach half, beautiful. To a lock-on peach. This is a great routine so far, just what he needs. Nice Healy turn. The USA sent a good team to the Pan Am Games, and David is a good example of one of those guys that in a year in Beijing, we may be seeing a lot of him.
Solid routine.
Yeah, nice double pike dismount, a lot of difficulty. Got it through, and his score, 14.9. Very good score on the parallel bars. That is not going to hurt him in his quest for the all-around.
Definitely not. Moving back over to the high bar, Luis Vargas of Puerto Rico, having a strong competition. Wants to make a statement here. Getting up on the high bar.
And this is exciting now, John. You know, it's getting down to the end. Guys can see the finish line, and they're looking at what they've got left, and they're looking at the scoreboard, and they're saying, I could be in there. I need a good routine. Great. Half a Takamoto right to a handstand. Beautiful stallers.
Luis has plenty of experience on his side competing for the NCAA. He went to Penn State, NCAA national champion, so that really comes into play here with a big crowd like this.
Yeah, it does. And Penn State has such a big tradition of gymnastics. He was great on their team, so he's been in an atmosphere like this. Full twisting double
there
layout.
It is.
Yeah, boned that dismount. Difficulty value of that routine was moderate. It was good, but not great. So his score is going to be good. But the quality of how he did the routine, we've talked a lot about that. You know, it's not only what you do, it's how you do it. He did everything well. No real deductions.
Right.
So that score could be good. Should be good, but it's not going to be great because of the difficulty value.
Difficulty, you got to really make a decision whether you want to go the difficulty route or you want to play it safe. And with these new rules, sometimes these gyms are saying, I just want to play it safe.
True, but you know, which is the part of it I do like, John, because it allows for the guys to not play it safe and still win. So, you know, it's kind of saying to them, you can play it safe, but you're not going to be a winner. You might be in the middle, but, you know, it gives enough flexibility for a guy to go for it and really get in there.
So Luis's score, 14.4. Not a bad score for the high bar.
Yeah, good safe score right in the middle, and he is right in the mix.
Here's our results for the men's high bar. Alexander Rodriguez leading the way, the 15.1. This, guys, it's a very, very close competition at the top of these rankings here on each event and in the all-around. So these guys know it going into these last two events, so they really got to turn it on. Here's the results for the floor exercise. Rodriguez again, 15.0 from Puerto Rico in first place. So far he's having a very good competition. Yeah, he's doing great, and this is crunch time right now. You know, they're past the halfway point. They have two events left, and they're looking at it and they're going, all right, now what's going to happen? I can either, you know, reach down and come up with two good routines and win this thing, or, you know, I've got to find a way to hang in there. Look how close that is. Oh my gosh, that is close. These are after four events. These are the all-around standings, and like Peter said, it is very, very close. When it's this close, the athletes got to stay in it. That's why we'll be right back with more Pan American Games competition here at the Reno Olympic Arena, the men's all-around finals, coming right back at you. We're back at the Rio Olympic Arena for the Pan American Games. This competition is very close and getting very exciting. I'm John McCready with Peter Corman. And we are in the midst, John, of a very close battle. These gymnasts performing in the all-around competition, they have to do 6 routines on the 6 Olympic gymnastics events. They've done 4 of them, so they each have 2 events left, and it right now is anyone's game. There's 6 or 7 guys who can win this, so, you know, you hope for a competition like that, and this is exactly what we have. Here's your order for the rotations we have coming up, which is parallel bars, high bar, floor, and pommel horse. We're going to go to the pommel horse first. Tough event now. This is one of the things that we've talked about earlier. Pommel horse is a difficult event to do under pressure, and there's a lot of pressure in this arena right now because there's a lot of guys who can win this. Here we go with Puerto Rico's Luis Rivera. Nice spindle, good mount sequence. Guy is powerful. Yeah, he's swinging very good too. Good form.
struggling a little bit there, but good save.
It's like he's almost out of control, but he's in control.
Yeah, that's kind of, you want to be like a little bit not off balance, but you want to be on that border of being off balance. That was a good, solid routine under pressure. I am very impressed with that. Difficult routine on horse, too.
Yeah.
He had that combination of skills done well and enough difficulty to get a good score, so.
He likes it. It's got to feel good in a competition like this to get pommel horse over with and have a good showing like that.
Yeah, and he gets to finish on rings, which is nice because that's an event that you can do at the end without a lot of worry of falling off. Fall off the rings.
Looking at his body type, he's going to be pretty good at rings, I would have to guess.
Yeah, he's a strong guy. This dismount, you can see his hand placements coming up. All those turns raised the difficulty value of the routine, and that was a pretty strong routine. And I think in terms of the all-around competitors in this competition, that pommel horse routine will definitely hold its own and probably move him up a little bit.
He's been looking good this whole day, and it's showing in his scores there. 14.7 for Luis. Definitely a good score on the pommel horse.
Yeah, great score. And we haven't seen this. That was our first pommel horse routine, and in a while. And you know, we don't have all the numbers of scores, but I think that in the end that will hold up.
This is Venezuelan's Jose Luis Fuentes. A little bit of trouble on floor exercise, but this guy is making a good run for this all-around championship here. And so far, this pommel horse routine is pretty strong, Pete.
Yeah, really good. Great difficulty. We saw a lot of single pommel work, and there's longitudinal travels from end to end. Good rhythm, nice extension. He's a great gymnast. And like you said, John, he did struggle on floor, but he is right back now, and he is going to make up for that right here.
Which is what you got to do in this situation, and he's doing it. Nice dismount. This guy's in it.
Yeah, he's a man on a mission, you can tell.
Look at him. He's in it to win it.
Yep.
That's the kind of fire you got to have in a competition like this.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and we talked earlier about everyone has to meet a challenge. He definitely had a challenge on the floor because he was off balance and hurting. He was limping a little bit. You could tell he wasn't right, and he rose to that, got the most out of it, and now on pommel horse. And look at the extension on the pommels and his hand placement, so precise. His shoulders and hips need to be directly over the pommel right there to maintain his balance, and he's doing that really well, and that is a great camera angle. You know, rarely do you see how difficult it is to push
how close.
down.
Yeah.
And you know, your hands are the bed of the body of that horse is only about a foot, only about 12 inches, so it's very difficult, those hand placements. And he's one happy guy now.
Yeah, his coach might have to wear some pads if rings goes that good. He's getting amped up.
Yeah, he is. He's on a roll. Look at those scores though, right across the board, very consistent.
Wow.
One event left.
Yeah. Here we are with Puerto Rico's Alexander Colon. Having a pretty good competition, had a little problem on floor, Peter. This is what we talked about again. You got to pick it up here.
And he is. Good routine so far. There's a longitudinal travel forward and back. Little form break there, but a good, solid recovery. Oh, he missed his hand, too.
Those little things.
Oh, baby. That was weird. His left hand on the pommel, just like he caught his thumb, it looked like, or his finger.
That's a good example of what you were talking about, Peter, about how people are going to have these little things happen to them, and if you're not careful, they're going to stack up against you and turn into something big, which unfortunately just happened. Yeah,
that was too bad because he was doing a good routine, and actually he was just performing a basic circle on the horse, and his left hand caught the pommel funny, and that was enough to make him fall off.
See if he can make a statement here on this last go at it.
Kind of finish, but in a competition this close, and we just saw him do a great floor routine. But you know what, John? It's so close now, a fall like that, and you just think 6 guys pass you.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out what his score is going to do. Seems like his finger might be the least of his worries right now.
Yeah, that was a little bit of bad luck. Because he wasn't off right there.
Yeah.
That was so strange. You saw his left hand, he just caught his knuckle on the pommel, and that hurts a lot when you do that.
Yeah.
Watch his left hand right. No, it's coming up. This is his travel, yeah. That was and that's so unfortunate for him. A little bit of unluck in terms of when that happened. You know, Pan Am finals, all around finals. That's too bad.
Not when you want it to happen.
No, I mean, it happens in practice sometimes. You just go, oh man, that hurt. But you hope it doesn't happen in something like this.
Yeah.
Clear disappointment there.
Yep. Well, he's got to get a score now, and he's got to get back in the frame of mind for rings. 13.7. That's definitely not what Alexander wanted.
Yeah, that takes him out of winning it for sure, and probably out of the medal group. And on such an easy element, that's just very unfortunate.
Back over to the floor exercise with Colombia's Jorge Geraldo. Guys had a pretty consistent competition so far.
Yeah, we watched him on a few events. He's a very dynamic performer. 1.5 twist, front full to front 1.5.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. 3 elements connected, very, very good.
Wow.
Yeah, floor exercise now is definitely a little more like trampoline in terms of the skills need to bound and together. And we've seen that here. The one thing I'll say that I don't like, John, is that a lot of the routines look the same.
Yeah.
And I think with the old set of rules, we had a little more variety in what the athletes do. And now a lot of this stuff looks the same to me. There's another easy pass in the middle of that routine.
Yeah. Which is a good example, Peter, of what we talked about at the... We're talking about Pan American Games, which is a very hard competition, but then we look to the Olympic Games, is you're not going to see passes like that as much of the...
True, true. The quality of this competition is very, very high, but if you were to put all of these athletes in at the Olympics, some of them don't have enough difficulty for sure. That was a beautiful pass, though. That pass would fit anywhere in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much how you do it.
He just had a few easy passes in his routine, like
One
this.
of them here.
Yep. That's just a back double full, and he even under-rotated it. As he left the ground, he needed to lift his chest a little higher so he would rotate more. That's side zoning, which is one of the required elements.
There's his
categories.
dismount.
Yep, and there's 2.5 twist dismount. A lot of little bobbles, and you know that only really one high value difficulty pass is mount. There's a dismount again.
It's a hard dismount when you're landing forward like that.
Yeah, you don't see the ground, so it's kind of difficult to stick the landing.
14.9.
Pretty good score.
Yeah.
Yeah, the routine did not have a super high start value, but you know, he didn't make any major errors, so I'm sure he's happy with that.
Here we are with USA's Guillermo Alvarez. He's hanging in there, Peter. He's coming back in this competition pretty well.
Yeah, he's right in the mix right now. You know, for Guillermo, he just needs to make sure he hits his routine solid, and that is a really good start.
Yeah. He's always been a very clean gymnast.
Yeah, he's beautiful to watch. I think when you talk USA men's team, you look at him and you say, this is one of the guys we need to do well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got to keep getting better. He's got to keep adding some difficulty and raise his level just a little bit more. He's got the tools. He has the talent. He just needs a little more time in the sport.
Here goes dismount.
Nice. Good routine. Good difficulty level, nice technique, good form throughout, and a good solid hit under pressure. So, you know, USA Gymnastics looks to him and guys like him to carry us into the future, and I think this is a bright spot for sure. Unique dismount, too. You don't see it that often, but he did it well.
He's got to like that routine.
Yeah, he's not going to move down with that. And, you know, he's right sitting in, like, he's bouncing between, like, 4th, 5th, or 3rd. So,
so a good floor routine. He might be right up in there.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Good floor routine, and he's in there.
13.75 was that for him?
Yeah, a little low
because
of the start value, but did the routine well. And we haven't seen a lot of high start values on high bar.
Yeah. There's David Durante of the USA. Saw him on parallel bars a little bit ago. Another very clean gymnast, one of USA's top gymnasts right now, and he's got some big releases here.
Yeah, he's a nice, beautiful laid out Kovacs. Couldn't be done any better than that. This is an exciting routine. Nice, Tkachev really high over the bar. So that's 3 big-time releases so far, really good. And John, you mentioned world-class performances. This is one on the high bar.
This is beautiful. See if you can finish it. Oh.
Nice, double twisting, double air. Tough dismount.
Yeah.
Took that step back, but that is a man's high bar routine. Everything's in that thing. Even the kitchen sink is in there somewhere.
These releases, this is his dismount right here. Done. I mean, you can't do it much better than that. Almost so well, he didn't know how well he was doing it. That's why he over-rotated a little bit.
That was high. That was way up over the bar.
Again, and like you said before, is the start value still?
No, that start value was pretty good. That's a low score.
Yeah.
I think that's a little low. But, you know, the judges on high bar seem to be scoring low for sure. So let's see how that sits in the end of the competition compared to everybody else, because that was a great routine.
Moving over the floor exercise with Luis Vargas. Puerto Rico's been strong today so far, and Luis has had a great competition.
And he's doing good routine here. Nice flare sequence. To the handstand, back down.
Wow.
Oh, legs nice and tight, toes pointed. Sweet, that was great.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with the Puerto Rican team. They have some really good athletes on their team.
Oh.
Whoa, baby, hang on.
Again, the dismounts aren't where they need to be, and difficult. It's almost like they're doing the double folds and then adding another half twist to get a little bit more. But it's hard to have a dismount like that, wouldn't you say, Peter?
Yeah, definitely. That's his Rudy pass, which he did very, very well. Yeah, it's hard to land when you don't see the ground. When you're doing something with a half twist on it, you can look down at the floor and see it, put your feet down. But when you're landing blind like that, it's tough.
You talked about before, Peter, making a statement when you do a dismount, and kind of difficult with a dismount like that, even if you do it well, to make a big statement.
Yeah, he did a good job staying on his feet. This sequence was beautiful in the middle of the routine, and that got the crowd into it too.
Luis waits on his score. 14.75.
Great score. Yeah.
Got to do good. And here's our results for the high bar. Alexander Rodriguez, 15.1, hanging in there. Jose Fuentes, 14.8 from Venezuela. David Durante's right there in 10th place. Gilmar Alvarez in 13th place. Again, these are just for high bar. This is an all-around competition, so it matters because you want to be good on every event, but if you're not winning an event, you're in second or third, it's not a huge deal, but you got to be on them on most of them. You plan on medaling.
Yeah, it's definitely what's more important than where you placed was the score. What's the point difference, because that's where you're going to decide. And look, there's pommel horse scores.
Jose Fuentes is really doing a great job. He's, that's what you need. You need to be in first place, and he's showing that throughout this competition on a lot of the events. So again, these scores, not a huge deal because they're the individual scores. What we really want to be looking at here are the all-around scores, but we're showing these to just kind of let you know what's going on in the individual events. But this, again, is the all-around competition, so we're going to combine all these scores on every event to find out our Pan American Games all-around champion.
And we know, John, that it's very close right now, so as you look at these individual event scores, like the parallel bar scores, 15.15, 14.9, 14.8, that does reflect the all-around scores because these are added up, and this is a very close and extremely exciting competition.
Moving through our parallel bars results. We're going to come up with our all-around results here in a minute. Parallel bars, it was a good competition on parallel bars, Peter. Saw some good routines.
Really, some great routines.
Here's our floor results.
And we saw the floor scoring was tough, and we did see some breaks there. And, some guys in this competition are going to look at the end, and they're going to say, if it wasn't for floor, I would have won. We've seen a few routines like that. So it's getting down to crunch time here, and everybody has one event left, and it's going to come down to who hits the best at the end of this competition, and it's going to be exciting.
You talked about the floor scores. We only had one gymnast have a 15, so it's a tough day on floor. Here's our standings after 5 rotations. Jose Fuentes is hanging in there, man, from Venezuela, 75.1. Hugo Geraldo, 74. It's a tight competition.
Yeah, it's close, and even guys down 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th place are not out of the medal category right now, because if you look at the point totals, that's what's important. It's not what place you're in. It's simply how much you have to make up.
Pan American Games are coming right back at you with the final event for the men's all-around finals.
In the Badlands of southern Utah, a unique group of insanely talented dirt bike riders gathered again to contest a motocross freeride competition in the purest form of the sport. Before there was freestyle, there was freeride Moto X. Before the stadiums, arenas, and man-made ramps, there was natural terrain, the glory days of FMX. Riding free in the hills with the boys, and trying to one-up your buddy for bragging rights among friends. Today, moto freeriding is one of the toughest sports around. It requires a true natural talent, total commitment, and the skills to put yourself in a sure death situation, confidently knowing that you will survive. FMX Riot began in the deserts of Southern California. Now, a year later, it continues at a place the locals call Swing Arm City. Riot is a natural terrain freeride contest, the only one of its kind. No ramps, no rules, no bulldozers. The greatest moto freeriders of today competing in an endless arena of desert with only their bike, their skills, and a creative mind. Judging of this contest would be done by the competitors themselves, making it a true forum of free expression. You ride, you judge, you hope to win. Out here, the only thing that will truly defeat you is the desert itself.
You're watching World Sport HD, a Voom HD network.
Welcome back to our coverage of the 2007 Pan American Games, the 6th and final rotation, Peter. This is where it really separates the men's from the boys, huh?
Absolutely, and this is so close right now. There's like 5 or 6 guys that could win, and there's probably all the way down to 9th or 10th place that could be in the medal category. So, and let's keep this in mind, John, as you remember from your days as a gymnast, this is the most important competition a lot of these guys have ever been in their life. They've been preparing since some of them 5 or 6 years old, and they're ready right now. They've got one event left, and there's a lot of people who could win this thing. So this promises to be a very exciting competition.
And they're going to, like you said, we have the Olympics 1 year after this, so these guys, this could really change the momentum in somebody's career going into the Olympics to say, hey, I have a shot. Beijing next year.
Absolutely, and also let's not forget you are competing to be the Pan American all-around gold medalist. That's very prestigious, and believe me, all of these guys want this right now. And a lot of them, look at the look in his eye. He is ready to go.
He is ready. This guy has been fired up. Jose Fuentes of Venezuela definitely has a shot at winning this competition, and he's going to decide his fate right here. Is decided right here by this routine. If he wants to win it, he's going to have the routine of his life right here.
Yeah, and we watched his battle in this competition. He started out very good, did vault, P-bars, high bar good, then went to floor and really struggled with it. Got through it into pommel horse good, and wow, he is right now, he's a man on a mission. Great ring routine so far. Strength moves. Now he's doing his swing elements. There's a whip it to cross, really good.
For a longer gymnast, he's pretty strong, huh, Pete?
Yeah, he's good. He's strong, and he's doing a good job. And I think, you know, he's thinking to himself, you know, I'm almost done with this. Let's get every 10th. Wow.
And he is happy. Look at him.
He had a great meet.
He said, give it to me.
He really had a great meet. I mean, he did everything well. And even on his floor exercise where he battled, he came back.
Getting a little bit of some booze. I think it's, like we talked about, the Pan American countries, they aren't afraid to tell you if they like you or they don't like you. And obviously they want Brazil to win, being that it's in Rio, so I don't think he's taking it personal.
There's his grip on rings, and he is preparing to do his strength elements. There's a Maltese, a little bit high. It pushes to planche, good. Nice, whip it to cross on rings, good position. And he is not the strongest athlete we've seen on rings, but his strength is adequate for this level of competition, and he has good body positions and swang very nice. Tough dismount, blind landing, and really landed good. So, boy, I'm actually happy for him, John. We watched him the whole competition, and the guy really did a good job.
He did exactly what you said at the beginning of this broadcast, saying you just got to stay in there. You got to make your little mistakes, and leave them behind you and go on. And you said he had a little bit of mistake on floor, and that's all we saw. And he minimized it.
Yeah, he didn't let him kill it. If he doesn't win, I think he's going to be very proud of his effort. But he's in the mix to win.
Oh,
so
yeah.
let's see. I think it's going to be close. But he did his job, and now he gets to watch what everyone else does.
We'll find out his score right here. He feels, in his mind, he won no matter what. Look at him. 15.3. That's a good score.
Yeah, that's it. And he scored 90 points in the all-around. That's very, very
That's
good.
Huge.
Very, very good in any competition.
Puts him in first place. We still have a lot of competitors to go, but definitely where he wants to be right now. There's Alexander Cologne.
And we saw Alexander today start out good, and then he had that misstep on the pommel horse where he caught his finger on the pommel. And you know what? That is what you hope doesn't happen. It's just one mistake after another. Yeah, he was moving along so well.
It throws off your momentum, just like you can see in this routine now. Right now he's probably doing a skill that he's never done before, just trying to get back on track, and he just can't do it.
Yeah, he's lost his composure totally.
Well, not the way you want to end your Pan American Games. And
I know, and the guy was on a roll until he went to pommel horse, and then just sometimes that happens. One mistake, then another mistake, and pretty soon you're totally out of your game.
You could tell it really affected him on pommel horse because, like you said before, Peter, you don't see people fall too much on rings. Maybe on a dismount or something, but rings is an event that you kind of just get up there and rock it out. And
yeah, that was bad. He had some bad breaks there. And we talked a lot about it, John, and you remember from competing yourself, being in this marathon of gymnastics, you need to hang in there. A lot of stuff can happen, and the tough guys can get through it and still make it, win for themselves. And the guys who need more experience have to work on those things.
Yeah. Small mistakes, unfortunately, sometimes turn to big mistakes, and in this case, that's exactly what happened with Alexander, and he's not going to have a chance to get up there and finish anything else. He's done. It's just too bad to end on something like that.
Yeah, he cruised right through that 4 good events and then had 2 bad mistakes on his last 2. So unfortunate, but a learning experience, and some guys hit and some guys don't. So it's not the end of the world, that's for sure. But he's going to learn from it, and hopefully next time when he's in that position, he will close the door.
Yeah. Right now, he's just got to be wondering, how come I couldn't have just hit that ring routine? Who knows where I would have been?
Yeah, he was in the mix moments ago. It slips away that fast in gymnastics. You're so happy one moment, and then the next moment you're going, what happened?
Yeah. So the people coming up to follow him here, Peter, what does that say for them?
Well, sometimes it can rattle your cage, but if you got a good coach or you got a good mindset, you're saying, you know what, I'm not going to let that happen to me.
Right.
I am going to go out there and be aggressive and hit my routine, and I got the blinders on, so no matter what happened up until now, and great Olympic-type champions and Pan Am champions have that ability. They can just say, it doesn't matter what happened, I'm hitting my routine, and I'm hitting it right now.
Yeah.
And coaches help with that, and athletes prepare themselves to get in that mindset, and that really separates the guys who win and the guys who don't win. John, it's often, as you know, it's not always a matter of talent, and it's not always a matter of practicing hard. A lot of these guys, they all practice hard. It's a matter of mentally preparing yourself to be in this situation and making sure you can close the deal.
Right.
And it's experience, but it's also mental preparation and mental toughness. So you see it in every sport, and some guys can do it easier than others. And he had trouble today, and maybe next time he won't, but today he definitely missed his last 2 events, and that's not a good way to finish the all-around.
Yeah. 11.85. Definitely not the finish you want, but he seems to be handling it well. Still has smiles on his face. Definitely, like you say, he's going to take it away as a learning experience. Coming back with our hometown favorite from Brazil. They're going to want to see a big routine from this guy right now. Luis Anjos. See what he's got in store for his hometown crowd.
He's doing a great routine, and he definitely had that little injury on floor. We saw him crash and put his hands down, so I'm a little bit nervous for his landing here.
Ooh, there's something you don't see very often anymore.
Yeah,
not worth a lot though, huh?
No, it's not worth a lot, but it looks kind of nice. This is a solid routine. The difficulty level is not super high, but he's doing it well.
With the dismount coming up, we talked about. See how that injury on floor is treating him.
Oh, stuck it.
Seems to be fine.
Yeah, that was great. I guess he's not that hurt.
Yeah.
He's got a little limp, but that guy's a tough guy.
Your home country's cheering for you like that. You're not hurt. Good job. Good job. They seem to like it.
Yeah, that was a good routine. Good hit routine. The difficulty level was a little low, so his score is not going to be super high, but he went through the routine the way he had to. And, you know, it was good after floor exercise. We were all concerned that he had a serious injury to his leg, but it didn't bother him here at all.
Definitely how you want to finish in front of your home crowd. A stuck dismount, showing them that even if I'm injured, I'm showing up for you guys. Now that's that feeling of ice.
Yep.
Ice and rest.
And he did his job, you know.
Yeah.
He had the bad floor routine, took that like a man, and didn't drop out of the competition, kept competing, and then stuck that dismount on ring. So, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sure he wished he would have done better on floor, but he has to be proud of his effort and the way he came back.
He's got to be proud, and his country's got to be proud. Brazil's liking it. Waiting on a score here. There it is, 14.85. Not a bad score for that kind of lower of a difficulty routine.
Yeah, that was a good score, actually. You know, sticking that dismount, we talked about that exclamation point, and that certainly helped him.
Here's USA's Guillermo Alvarez. Now this is his chance to get in the medal hunt. He's got to be perfect here. He's making a good comeback. This is his chance to take home a medal at this Pan American Games.
Yeah, John, he's right in the mix, but he cannot afford a mistake. Well, good recovery there.
Yeah.
He's definitely a little off balance on that front with a full tucked.
He's determined.
Whip 2.5.
Couple hops here and there, which is not what you want at this point, but he's still okay.
Yeah, he's not making any major mistakes, and this is a tough routine. A lot of nice twisting elements. And here's beautiful flare sequence to handstand, back down, good extension. So this is close. He's right in there. He could medal or he could not. What's really important right now is that he finishes this routine and tries to save every 1/10 of a point.
Yeah, he's been climbing back this whole competition. He had a little bit of a rough start, and now he's just saying, I have a chance still.
Yep.
Showing his champion in him.
Nice.
Nice, that's what you need. That could definitely do it for him.
Yeah, that'll put him in the mix, that's for sure. He did that double air really nice at the end of his routine. This beautiful pass, landed, took a little hop, but you know what I like too about this, John, is he minimized any of his landings, any deductions. He seemed like he was fighting for every 1/10 of a point, not giving anything up. And a 15.3.
Nice.
Great score.
That's I think there's only been one other score above 15. Puts him in second place, so he's just got to hold on now.
Yeah, that was great to do. Wow, what a nice competition. He came back and then did his best routine at the end, so that shows the competitor in him.
Here's Puerto Rico's Luis Vargas on the pommel horse for his final event. Not an event you want to finish on sometimes, but so far he's looking pretty good here.
Yeah, that's great pommel work. Really nice. Little set form break there, but he recovered well. Good longitudinal travels, forward and backward. Oh no.
That's a fight, though, right there, huh,
Yeah,
Pete?
that was pretty good. Yeah, I'm amazed he didn't fall off.
That's what you call hocus pocus. That was a good fight. Not what he wanted, but you got to hand to the guy.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that was amazing. He was way off balance. His legs came apart. His legs bent. I thought he was going to fall off, but he managed to squeeze that pommel and stay on the horse. And the reason that happened, his shoulders just got way too far over his hand, off his hands. Missed his hand there a little bit.
Once you're a little off, you right here you saw his feet drop down. He just couldn't recover, which I would say 99% of people would have been off there, but
yeah, he's strong. He's one strong dude.
Coming into his dismount here.
Nice setup to handstand, and you know, he didn't give up. He did not give up. He mentally stayed in the game, and that allowed him to finish that routine. And 13.8, not bad for that break. So that keeps him right in there.
Right in third. Moving over to rings with Cuba's Medina has had a good competition.
Yeah, we've seen him on a lot of events. What a nice athlete he is. Really good execution.
Very strong. Body shows how strong he is.
Yeah, nice bounced across. Really good position. Nice set of Yamawakis through L cross. I like that combination. He's swinging real fast and then he stops. It's very impressive. Press to handstand.
Little things like that you don't need, huh, Pete?
Yeah, you don't need those when the competition's so tight. But that was good. Good dismount. Great routine.
Yeah.
And, you know, a pleasure to watch this young man. He did so well. He did great on parallel bars. We saw him on high bar. He just is one super athlete and should be very pleased with his performance today.
He was consistent throughout the entire competition. Waiting on his score, 4.55.
Was excellent. He was off balance. He hit the horse twice. He almost fell twice, but he did not let himself stop.
Yeah.
And you know, that is sheer passion right there. That is heart and the love of the sport. He just was not going to stop no matter what.
And that's the difference between a medal and not a medal, because we're going to, I mean, if he gets a medal, it's going to be because of this routine.
Absolutely, right, absolutely. He could have fallen easy. He hit the horse twice really bad and didn't stop. He just squeezed and kept going. So, you know, he wants it real bad. You can tell. And, you know, if he does win a medal, it will be because of this. You're absolutely right. That was his test, and he passed it, flying colors. Wow, and that's good. You saw him hit the horse. His legs came apart.
Yeah.
He definitely got a deduction, but it could have been way worse, and he brushed it again right there. But great job to fight through. He really didn't even break rhythm. He just broke some form, so minimal deduction, and that could have easily been a major mistake.
And he knew it when he got off that horse. He knew he had fought through it. He was proud of himself.
Yeah, that was great. That was really exciting to see. You know, you don't get that in practice. You don't get that in a normal competition. You only get that in a competition like these Pan American Games all-around finals.
And it's difficult to end on pommel horse. I mean, not for every gymnast. I didn't like it.
Yeah, you're tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to fall at the end when you're tired.
Yeah.
And he got tested definitely on that routine, and he came through flying colors. So regardless of whether he wins a medal or not, he's going to be happy with himself. He's taken one more step in solidifying the fact that he's a good gymnast, and all the work he's put into it has paid off.
Waiting on Geraldo's score to decide his fate, whether he will get a medal or not.
Good dismount. There you can see the look in his eye. He's like, yeah, baby.
Baby, I did it. So as soon as we see the score, we're going to find out everyone's fate.
And it is really close right now, John. You saw the scores before this event. Anyone can win it. There it is, a 14-7 on horse.
That means Luis takes the competition. He is a very happy camper of Venezuela. He has been solid this whole competition. I really think he deserves it, man. He is a veteran. He showed up today. He had a little bit of problem on floor, and he said, you know what? I can do this, and he stayed in it all the way till the end.
Yeah, he did a great job, and we've enjoyed watching him. He really battled through every routine and, you know, had a lot of passion and a lot of fire, and so did this young man.
Yeah, Luis really had a great competition. He ends up in first place from Venezuela. Then Jorge Geraldo of Colombia rounds out second, held on to second with that fight of a pommel horse routine, which means Guillermo Alvarez battles back for third place. Talk about heart, man. Guillermo had a great competition coming back and taking third place.
Absolutely, and I think all three of these medalists today showed what they're made of. Each one of them had a challenge. They all had something to overcome, and they all met that challenge, and that's why they are the medalists at the Pan American Games.
And they know it now. Luis is, there's Guillermo, third place. Now, you know, I think it's fantastic that Guillermo was in third place after coming back. I think he was down in 10th for a while there. But, you know, Guillermo's a strong competitor, and I'm sure he wanted the gold medal, but, man, he's got to be proud of himself for battling back and getting that bronze.
Yeah, he did a great job, and I think it was exciting to watch, John, because I think in each one of these athletes, they all had a real severe test, whether it be trouble on the floor or the pommel horse or coming back from a low score. And look at how happy they are now. It's really what amateur athletics is all about.
There's your final standings. Luis Fuentes takes first place from Venezuela. Jorge Geraldo from Colombia in second, and Guillermo Alvarez of the United States of America. We'll be back with the medal ceremony right after this, your 2007 Pan American Games all-around finals. We're back at the Rio Olympic Arena for the medal ceremony for the men's all-around championships of this 2007 Pan American Games. And an exciting competition it was. Guillermo Alvarez taking the bronze medal, and he should be very, very proud of himself. Battling back in a great competition, finishing on floor exercise with a wonderful routine. This guy's got nothing but smiles, wouldn't you say, Pete?
Yeah, he did a great job. Started out a little rough, but he came back the whole way. He never gave up. Did a great job. We saw him on all his events. Really finished strong on floor and should be very proud of his performance. And third place in the Pan American Games is great for an all-around gymnast. He's got a good shot to be on our team in Beijing.
And you talk about Beijing, and this is what you want. You want to get a medal. You know, he might have won a different color, but it's great for him and his boost into this Olympic year to get a bronze medal.
Yes, and important for our country too, because we need guys like that. We need them to step it up and really do a good job.
Taking home the silver medal from Colombia, Jorge Geraldo. Had a great competition. Once again, all these guys are fighters, man, just fighters.
Yeah, this is one of the nicest events we've seen in a long time. Everybody was close. They were all tested. They all had to come out and pull something out. And, you know, we saw his wonderful performance all the way through. And to finish as strong as he did, should be extremely proud of himself.
Yeah, he did very, very well.
Gold medal and Pan American Games champion.
Medalha de ouro e campeão dos Jogos Pan-Americanos Rio 2007, o atleta da Venezuela, José Luis Fuentes.
Luis Fuentes takes the gold medal, and this guy, look at those jackets flying. He is happy, man, and he deserves it. He really stepped up this competition and was the guy that just was even throughout the whole competition.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he's the champion, and he made it happen, too. He had that tough floor routine with that leg injury, but it did not bother him. He just dug down deep. He should be very proud. And, you know, for the Venezuelans to have the Pan American all-around champion is a real feather in their cap, John.
That's huge. That's huge. As we do in all international competitions, we'll now honor the winner by listening to Venezuela's national anthem.
Senhoras e senhores, o hino nacional da Venezuela. Señoras y señores, los medallistas panamericanos.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Pan American medalists.
Senhoras e senhores, os medalhistas pan-americanos Rio 2007.
Here's your champions there. This was just a wonderful competition, Peter. I think these guys deserve this championship, and they're going to go home happy.
Absolutely, John. One of the most exciting Pan American all-around men's finals we've seen in a long time. And all of these guys really overcame a lot, fought a hard battle. They should all be extremely proud.
For World Sports HD and Peter Corman, I'm John McCready. Thank you for joining us from this exciting Pan American Games men's all-around competition. Good night.
So right off the bat in our high-definition coverage of the Pan Am Games, we establish a fan favorite, Diego Hipólito, who 2 years ago becomes the first Brazilian men's gymnast to win gold at the World Championships, wows the home crowd with a near-perfect performance in the floor exercise routine, as well as claiming gold in the vault. And we likely haven't seen the last of American Guillermo Alvarez in the floor exercise as he takes silver. Of course, we've only scratched the surface of our coverage of the 15th Pan Am Games as World Sport HD showcases the world's best from Rio over the next several weeks. For all of us at World Sport HD, I'm Steve Cangelosi. For now, so long from Rio.